France is one of the biggest economies in the world. It's a permanent member of the UN Security Council. It is extremely present and influential in Africa because of its very large number of former colonies here, with whom it has generally maintained relations since the 1960 and the independence era. South Africa is a country that in terms of independence is young, 19 years. It will have historically, the government and the people who are in power now will historically have taken a dim view of France and other colonial powers, and are now wanting to, because of South Africa's influence and wealth and so on, wanting to assert themselves in their backyard. And generally that process, I think, has gone quite well, but there have been big bumps, particularly with France. I mean, lots of them, several of them. Whether it's the conflict of a few years ago in Côte d'Ivoire, whether it's the UN Security Council and South Africa's attempt to get in there, whether it's the election of Mrs. Dlamini Zuma last year to become the chairwoman of the African Union Commission, whether it's Central African Republic, there's been a lot of bumps. And I think the problem is that the, shall we say, the new authorities in South Africa, look, this is my opinion, haven't done their homework well enough on the state of that relationship. You can wish it away, you can think it's bad, you can think what you like. You've got to deal with reality. The nuclear issue. South Africa is going to be quite soon announcing the contracts that it wants to award for the nuclear build, as they call it here. That's expanding civilian nuclear infrastructure for the purposes of energy. France is a world leader in that area. It definitely wants as many of those contracts as possible. Russia is in there, China, South Korea, there's lots of competition. But of course it's such a strategic and sensitive area that you can't just sign a nuclear agreement with anybody. There are international controls. French exports to South Africa greatly outnumber, I think about 4-to-1, South African exports to France. And that's, when you have an imbalance of that magnitude, it's never a good sign. And obviously it's a particularly bad sign for South Africa. So there'll need to be some, and I'm sure there will be quite a lot of discussion on how that imbalance can be rebalanced, if you like, to be more equitable.